Losing the ones we love is part of life, but how can we grieve with hope? Side by Side Grief Support Ministry offers one-on-one counseling, social and support gatherings, as well as retreats for Catholics suffering with grief. Deacon Curtis Boone and his wife Joanne run this ministry with their team from Padre Pio Parish in Kleinburg, Ontario. They recently ran a retreat at Blessed Trinity Parish in Toronto.
I lost my sister. She passed away of cancer. So I was with her in her journey. It was very difficult to lose her.
It was the most traumatic, life-altering event that ever happened to us in our lives. She was our youngest, 12 years old, got into a car accident and passed away. It's important to kind of feel a little bit normal because there's nothing normal about my life anymore. Because 3 years after my daughter died, my husband died from COVID.
Grief is a dynamic feeling of love and loss. And if we don't grieve well, then we can't love. Ultimately, we can choose to shut ourselves down. And I have found people who have decided, I never want to feel like this again, so I will not love again. I will not let anyone get close to me again. And we're not meant to live like that. God didn't design us for that. God designed us for love, to see the hope and to keep your eyes always up and on God. God will lead you towards the people that you need in your life to help you. You will tell the story of your loved one, which becomes your story. You cannot and will not go back to the way things were before. I trust so much in the Spirit that the Spirit usually takes me and everything in here somewhere it needs to take us. So I want to journey with the Spirit today. It's often said that grief is a journey. Our life is a journey. This retreat is a journey. There's a reason why we always use journey. It's because it's movement, it's motion, it's life. We're starting somewhere and we're going somewhere. So the Side by Side Grief Support Ministry is based on companioning. We like to move in as close as we can to the person who's grieving and not so much lead them as guide them and advise them as they go on their unique and individual journey.
Deacon Curtis and Joanne came over to my house to introduce themselves from the church. I was so grateful they came, you see, because I never, ever blamed God. From Deacon Curtis and Joanne and the grief group, I've learned that there are people out there who can support me, who I can actually provide support to as well.
I was very happy to see that the parish, Blessed Trinity, they were running a grief retreat. It just came at a really perfect time, and it felt the community was there all together, sharing in that journey and that experience. We met some other people who had lost their son or their husband or their wife, and it was really nice to have that community sharing.
The intent of the whole retreat is to rise. You start, you're maybe a bit depressed, you're definitely feeling grief and sorrow, and as the day goes on and you look around and you see the other people and you feel the effect of the exercises and sessions on you, you begin to rise. Music is a very important part of our presentation. We incorporate hymns, songs of worship and praise. The actual presentation that I do is a series of spiritual exercises, I call them, that try to engage the people who are there as they see fit.
Deacon Curtis talked about grief ministry. I always thought I was called to youth ministry. I would have never thought that I would be called to grief ministry. But I think that God has a plan for my life. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my community. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And I think that God has a plan for my family. And I think that God has a plan for my church. And that I would be up talking about the loss of our son. And strangely, after Daniel passed, it opened up opportunities to really intimately talk to people, in a sense, minister to them. But we know, like in the words of St. Paul in Romans 8:28, all things work unto good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. So he can turn their sorrow into something that's a very powerful, transformative experience for you and I, and even use our sorrow and pain to touch the hearts in our ministry of healing, our ministry of love.
We had 3 particular speakers at this retreat, each one of them outstanding witnesses of the change, not only in their life, but also their grief journey.
I tried to fight it at the beginning, but what I found worked for me, and it still works for me today, is that I need to welcome the grief. I need to allow myself to sit in that pain, to sit in that grief, because that grief was the proof of my love for my sweetheart.
When you first enter into grief, there's a period of numbness, feeling detached, that almost everyone goes through, and that can last between 3 and 6 months. After that, I find that everybody's journey is unique. I hope you've already found out that because you grieve, others will find you. It's like you recognize each other. You end up helping others. From the outside, it can look like one of nothing but pain. I've had other people say, why would I want to go to a grief meeting and feel like that? And they come to our meetings, and after it's all over and we're hugging each other and we're smiling and sometimes we laugh, they'll say, really, oh my God, look what God has done for us. It's a beautiful thing. The human experience, grief is essential.
Well, I hope to be able to think of her without feeling sad, without crying, and to be able to think of happy times, happy memories, that one day we'll all be reunited.
It's been 6 years since Jules passed and 3 years since my husband passed. And this, I'm telling you, it actually has become a bit happy. I attribute, or a good portion of that, to our grief ministry group and helping me get through my really bad, dark days.
We emphasize not only the suffering of Jesus, which they're currently undergoing, but also the rising, the resurrection of Jesus, where they can and will go along with their loved one. The ultimate hope that we want to instill in everyone's heart is the hope of Christ, the hope of God, the belief in the hand of Jesus that is holding their loved one's hand and holding ours. They've moved out of reach. They are not out of existence. And that's really the bottom line, is hope. That's what we want to deliver as much as God lets us.